Okay, I'm back. Sorry, just had to have a quick drink of water there. Sometimes talking a lot, your throat gets rather tired, and if you listen to what James and I were talking about, can happen a lot sometimes, especially when you're talking on your own. So, I also just want to tell everybody, with these conferences, they don't happen without, sponsors and a lot of hard work. In this case, in the background, the people at McGregor Communications. So, and meeting host 88, which you can, if you're listening in or viewing in, I should say, is all a part of that too. Helping us out, keep bringing all this information to you, and helping coordinate some of the speakers, and you know, providing all the technology. So if you get a chance, talk to some the vendors and the exhibitors. They put in a lot of time and effort to make these conferences happen. And in this case, CRT. They've got various rooms, the exhibit rooms. You can go in, you can ask them questions, and hopefully, because I've invited them, they pop in here and talk about what they're doing, and what they offer you. Give them a little extra promotion. They work hard to bring you all these different tools and services that help you restore and recover and plan for, and manage different crises and interruptions, and suggestions with COVID. And I really should mention who they are too, in case somebody doesn't check out the sponsor pages or doesn't want to talk to vendors. I think I have an obligation, I think, to them, with their financial assistance and promotion of the conference, to name them. So I did write them down just so that I didn't forget. So big shout out to BlackBerry, Walden University, DRI Canada, which I'm a member. I'm on the certification commission, by the way. Everbridge, Get Ready, and I found out Get Ready is located in Guelph, where I live. So big shout out to my fellow Guelphites. Callian, MNP, Emergency Management and Training, Hypertech, IBC, which is Insurance Bureau of Canada, North City Insurance Brokers, BCI, Business Continuity Institute, DRI, and by DRI, it's Disaster Recovery Information Exchange, not Disaster Recovery Institute, just to be clear on that. Parasolutions, Rave Mobile Safety, Recovery Planner, SunGuard Agility Services, Transport Canada, and Vanguard. And of course, I big shout out to my folks at Voice America, who let me do this show, and keep me honest, and help me with everything with regards to the talk radio show. So if you get a chance, talk to some of them. Quite a few of them, I believe, have some prizes to hand out, but you can't win any prizes unless you go and talk to the exhibitors and whoever is manning their virtual booth. Talk to them, ask them questions, or just ask them how they're doing. Like James Green mentioned in our last segment, all about the various mental health and our well-being. Do that. Just stop in, say, how's it going? These are people, quite a few of them, work in emergency management and business continuity, and they're working with different clients, and I'm sure they could all use a pat on the back, just like your colleagues do, or your partners, and friends that are working on front line and are busy. I'm sure they could all use just a simple "how you doing?" and listen. You got two ears. Just listen to them. Don't force an answer like "how you doing? You okay?" No, just ask a question and be silent. Let them answer. Sometimes to make a person feel good, they just need to be listened to. And right now with COVID and the stress that quite a few people have, it's probably a good thing, if you reach out and just ask. And sometimes it could be helpful to you, because they could turn around and ask you the same thing, and that helps. And you have some dialogue going back, and you help each other. And sometimes you may not even know that you're doing it, but it is something that's beneficial to do. So if you can, just ask how you doing, and if you want to know what their products are, ask them about that too, but if you don't contact them, you don't talk to them, you can't win a prize. So, unfortunately I can't win a prize because I can't talk to them, but oh well, maybe next year, maybe it'll be a face-to-face and I'll be able to walk around and drop my card into, the fish bowls and, or sign on, whatever the case may be, and maybe win a prize with them next year. But back to my little opening notes. I think I only went through one little piece of this, so far. Having a talk radio show, I can blabber on and on in a stream of consciousness and just keep going. So, hopefully, if I'm going to get lost, you'll join me and get lost with me. But again, talk to the sponsors and exhibitors, ask questions, and if you're just popping in and listening to me talk, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask anybody questions. I could. James was here just a little while ago, and someone could have popped in and just asked him a question. I know I've got lots for him. I've got lots of other ones for him, but he and I are talking in a couple of weeks, actually, to record his second episode for the show. He's been on before. We talked about climate change and risk, and he was actually on a live broadcast that I did for another conference in 2018, I guess it would have been for that one, 18 or 19. Yeah, 18. It's one of them anyway. And I noticed that his headset was working much better, because if you were listening to the live broadcast, what you wouldn't have seen at this other conference is that his headset kept having problems, and one of our executive producers, Ryan, kept running and fixing while we were talking throughout the whole thing, and it was kind of comical. One of those only happens on live TV, so to speak. So it was rather comical to see that, and no problems with James and his headset this time around, luckily. And as I talk, I hear a thunderous noise, so I guess it's raining outside. Oh well, we need it. It's the fall. Also, if you have any questions for other speakers or myself, please feel free, send them. You can even send questions after the show. You can send them if you go to the webpage for the show on voiceamerica.com, preparing for the unexpected. You can send me an email. There's a button there, and or alex@stone-road.com. Any questions, and maybe I can answer them for you, or I can find someone who can answer them for you in case I can't. I usually have an opinion on everything, so I'm sure I would provide some sort of answer, but maybe we could direct it towards another guest speaker here at the conference. I do have a co-host. You can't see the co-host because he's sleeping in his little bed on the floor right now, but you never know, he might make an appearance here at some point, and we'll talk. Well, I'll talk, he'll listen and probably lick my glasses and make them all dirty, but excuse me, he's here. And you'll probably see me do this a few times. It's probably because he's coming over and wants a little bit of attention. Daddy, stop talking and pay attention to me. Oh, excuse me. See, start losing the voice after a while when you're talking. There we go. A little bit about the radio show for anyone who isn't aware. I have talked to a lot of guests here at CRT and speakers for 2018 and 2019. There's quite a few shows where the speakers have come on, and we've pre-recorded an episode, and I have one that airs from CRT every month leading up to the next conference. Obviously, with moving from May to October, I kind of ran out of spots because there was only a certain number of guests leading up to May, so was a little short on a few of them, but that's okay. For this conference, there are some that have expressed interest in recording a show where we will talk about their subjects, and probably a little bit more updates, and pre-record an episode. And again, we'll have one CRT speaker appear on the show every month, probably starting in December, hopefully. See, I have all my information here when all my shows air, and who's speaking. No, I do have one. I still have a blank spot in November, so we may have someone in November. Start in November guest. I don't know who it'll be. Maybe it'll be James. I can't remember who their first one is, but I know there's about six or seven from CRT that want to come and have a chat, which is fine. Some of these shows are actually, my commentary here is being recorded, so I will probably, if I can, if everything works out fine, take some of these recordings and create a couple of shows to help promote. So if you're not listening to me now, you'll hear me later. Feel free, if you do want to hear the show and all the different speakers. I talked about it earlier, psychologists, researchers, different industry experts, subject matter experts, people that are actually in the field, hands-on doing things, presidents of organizations like BCI Canada and BCI US and Emergency Management Society of Ontario, and a few others. They've all been on. So listen to what they have to say. Voice America, the Variety Channel, Preparing for the Unexpected. It's Thursdays at 9 a.m., which is kind of funny because tomorrow, October 8th, we're starting the live broadcast at 10 a.m., which is, right after I get to listen to my own show. So, and I can't even remember who is on. Tomorrow is October 8th, and tomorrow it's John Jackson, where he'll be talking about has the BIA run its course, which is an interesting topic in itself. I was going to talk about it some other point, but since I just brought it up now, I'll talk about it. If you're familiar with the adaptive business continuity movement and the other, the traditional methods of doing things, that adaptive has proposed getting rid of the BIA. We tend to ask a lot of questions with the BIA and do tons of data gathering, and just to get RPOs and RTOs and MAOs, maximum acceptable outage timeframes, and the resources, the people we need, the equipment we need, the locations we need, and a lot of other different aspects, who your subject matter experts, and do you have internal dependencies, and I look at those as upstream, things that come to me is a dependency, and then things I send, internally as a dependency. But there's also things that may come to me externally and things I send externally. And some of them maybe, come to me internally, but then I send externally. So all those different dependencies between different functions, and things like that. And so we end up with, a pile of data, just a pile of data. And sometimes we don't leverage all of it when we have it. And adaptive kind of says, well, if you got all this data, you got to do something with it. But since we don't do a lot with it, what's the point of doing a BIA? And obviously I'm paraphrasing, so Professor David Lindstedt and Mark Armour, if you hear this, don't get, I'm just paraphrasing you guys. Great guys. They've been on the show a few times, and hope to get them on, I think, for a fifth or sixth time. It's always interesting, listen to their viewpoints and how things are changing. And I've noticed that over the last little while, more and more people are questioning, the use of the BIA. So maybe they were onto something well ahead of what others are thinking. So I better take another drink of water here. It's going to drive me crazy here. If you like that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave me a message and let me know your thoughts. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.